G'day guys, Nigel here from Sax School. So a couple of weeks ago there was this fantastic comment that was posted in our Sax School community, and I just wanted to share it with you. It was from one of our Sax School students called Martyn, who's been with Sax School for a year or so, and it was all about his journey of getting started, going out and playing with the band for the very first time. It's such a brilliant story. It really caught my imagination and the imagination of the rest of the Sax School community as well. So I just wanted to share it with you. Let's have a look. So this is Martyn's post, and it's a great story where he's talking about the journey of getting to that point where he started playing with the band. It's a really interesting story. It wasn't an easy journey for him, actually. We're going to dig into how he actually went about this process, but you know what? Look, I'm looking out the window. It's a beautiful sunny day out there, and Oscar needs a walk. So do you want to come with me? Let's go for a walk, and we can have a talk about it on the way. I love reading Martyn's story because I can tell how important it was to him, and it is an important thing. It's a big deal. Going out and playing with a band for the first time is a massive deal. And if you've never done it before, I'm guessing that you're probably a bit nervous about doing it too, or a bit apprehensive about it, or maybe unsure about how to start. I'm going to tell you a bit later on about why playing in a band is probably the best thing that you can do for your development as a saxophone player. But seeing this post really caught my imagination, and it caught the imagination of a whole bunch of our Sax School members as well who are doing the same thing or aiming to do the same thing. Had tons and tons of comments. So I wanted to find out a bit more about this whole story. And so we investigated a bit further. I got Claire from my team to write an article with Martyn about his journey. In fact, there's a link below this video where you can read this whole article. And if you are wanting to make that step and start learning yourself, then you want to go check that out. Ready, Oscar? So Martyn's story began like it is for lots of people actually. He played years ago, 25 years ago he'd started learning. He'd learned a few tunes but struggled to find a teacher that he liked and really struggled with his confidence. And so life got in the way and he stopped playing. And then a couple of years ago, he discovered Sax School and decided to, give it another go and get started. And I think that's when things really turned around for him. Good boy. So this is the process that Martyn used for overcoming the obstacles and getting out and actually playing with the band the first time. And the very first step was overcoming nerves and building up his confidence. In fact, if you want some tips on this, there's a great article we've got in our blog, 5 tips to boost your confidence. And I'll put a link for that below. You definitely want to check that out. But overcoming his confidence, really the first thing he needs to do was to go out and do some research. So what Martyn did, and I suggest this is a great thing for you to do as well, is he went out and he found some open mic nights, some jam sessions in his local area. You don't need to go and play at the start. Hey Oscar, the first thing you need to do is just go and see, go and watch, find out what tunes they're playing, get a measure of the vibe of the musicians in your local area, and perhaps meet some musicians and get some conversations going, and that'll really help you with your confidence. It'll also arm you with the stuff that you need to know so you can prepare properly for playing with local bands and the sort of tunes that you need to play. So you've done some research. The next step now is to get your skills together. And the best way to do that is to go away and learn some jazz standards, learn some popular tunes that you think are going to be needed for playing with a band, whether that's some jazz tunes, whether that's some classic pop or rock solos, or some blues skills. And there's tons of resources in Sax School to help you learn that and practice that and be prepared. And the other thing to be really on top of is transposing skills. In fact, you can grab our Sax School transposing cheat sheet, where it makes the whole process of transposing from piano or guitar to alto or to tenor really, really easy. That's such an important skill, and it's one that you're definitely going to need to have when it comes to playing with the band. Oscar. Now when it came time to actually find musicians to play with, first thing Martyn did was to look online for ads, bands looking for musicians. He didn't have much luck with that, so he was very clever actually. He posted his own ads on the online forums and chat rooms looking for a band to play with. So he advertised himself as a saxophone player, and you can do this on, there's loads of forums that can do this, things like Craigslist as well. Bandmates is another one. I'll put some links below to other forums that you can use to find musicians. And actually, by doing that, Martyn managed to connect with a band that was looking for a saxophone player. Very, very cool. So they organised a couple of tunes that they were going to use for a tryout, and Martyn got sent those tunes and he's set to learning those tunes, and that's where your preparation really comes into hand. It's so important to be prepared Because don't forget, being properly prepared for that first meeting, that first opportunity to impress your future bandmates is so important. It's going to help you with your confidence as well. And of course, the most important and probably the most stressful part of this whole process is that very first meeting with the musicians. It's like an audition or an interview or the first jam session, and you want to make the best impression, you want to do a great job, and you've got to meet these people and show yourself off the best way, I suppose. It's stressful, it's for everybody, and it was for Martyn, but you know, one of the best, well, there's two important things. First thing is obviously being prepared. The second thing is communicating. Remember, music is about sharing, it's about listening, it's about communicating with the other musicians and with your audience eventually. So when you're playing, make sure you're listening to the other musicians. You're thinking about your timing, you're thinking about your tuning. And when you're improvising, you're listening to the other musicians and you're interacting with them. It's not me and you, it's an us situation. So approach it in that way and it'll always work out better. Oscar, come on. Now, I loved hearing in Martyn's story how he was nervous, of course, in the audition. He didn't think it went so well. He was worried about how he played, he was worried about how he got on with the other musicians. But the really cool thing was, a couple of days later, he got an email from them and he's in the band. Awesome. So now he's getting ready to go out and start doing gigs with the bands in local venues and also at weddings and functions and things like this. He's got a whole bunch of tunes to learn. How exciting is that? He's on the road and he's ready to start making some great music and some great memories and some great skills by playing with another band. Really, really cool. So playing in a band is super important, and here's the reasons why. When you're playing with other musicians, you are developing your oral skills, you're listening more, you're getting better at communicating, you're developing your improvising skills, you're working on your timing. It also, the other thing that's super important is you're under pressure when you're playing in the band, and so that forces you to bring out your best in your playing. Super important, and honestly, everyone who plays in a band finds that their playing just goes a whole order of magnitude ahead. It's really, really cool. It's super important for you. And if you've not done it before, then I definitely urge you to try it. Hey, so what about you? Have you started playing with a band yet? Or is it something you're wanting to do? Let me know in a comment below. I'd love to hear your stories about how you started finding a band and making those first steps towards getting started with that whole process. Or if you are playing with a band now and you find that it's really important to you, let me know that too. I'd love to know in a comment. And of course, if you're ready to really move your skills forward and get those resources you need to prepare yourself for playing in a band, then come and check out Sax School. You're going to absolutely love it. There's hundreds of lessons, there's mini courses, and they're all organized into these student pathways to help you learn much, much faster. Plus, there's an amazing community of people from all around the world trying to do exactly what you're doing. So there's a link below as well for that at mcgillmusic.com, and I hope to see you inside Sax School. Hey, also don't forget, I'm making videos all the time, so make sure you do subscribe, click that bell icon too so you get notified. Hey, thanks for coming on this dog walk with me. Hopefully I'll catch you on another video real soon. Come on,